thank you all for listening. I just want to acknowledge my company who paid my salary. Framework 7 in Europe funded this project. I want to acknowledge NCKU who paid for our trip here, and also Professor Tsai and Dean Chen for facilitating our meeting. Thank you all very much for listening.
Questions? Great team.
My English is not very good, so my problem is not very good.
My Chinese is worse.
So I have one basic question. So in this project have any assessment in biological problem? So our the noise of the turbine will danger the sea culture, or immediately the seabird will fly into the turbine will danger your device.
Well, I know there was some studies done in a previous, not in this particular one, but with the same device previously. There were some marine acoustic studies done. I don't know what the results of that were. Tony, do you? In terms of bird life, we have lots and lots of pictures of birds happily swimming around it, sitting on top of it. There has never been any evidence of birds flying into the turbine.
I think when the waves are very large, the turbine is really operating, the seabirds are not there. They usually sleep somewhere on the speed is high. One thing we did observe, though, in terms of the sea, one interesting thing we did observe with the seabirds and the marine fouling was that a lot of the marine fouling we get on this is shellfish, mitolous mussels. And we found that the seabirds were actually eating the mussels at the waterline and breaking them open, sitting on top of the device. So it becomes almost a feeding ground for the birds as well.
Any more questions?
Thanks for sharing the very valuable experience of your research. So I have one question. So I can see that in your platform you have like weather station, all kinds of sensors. You can do pretty much the real-time monitoring. But do you do any forecasting of the possible like risks or catastrophic events?
There's a research centre or a marine centre in Ireland, in Galway, that produces weekly wave forecasts for the bay. I think it uses the Swan wave wind model, and we tended to use that to schedule our testing. So we would monitor and check if there was any waves coming, and we would schedule our testing program then around that. And if it was going to be calm, we would schedule our maintenance or our operations on board. To be honest, the extreme weather, we ran the system because we wanted to test it in all wave conditions. There wasn't anything we did to turn it off or to stop it as such. We let the system run. There has never been any problems in extreme wave with the moorings or with the devices. It's always performed quite well. And as Tony mentioned, it has seen some extreme wave heights of 4.2 meters. I mean, even this May, we had 3 meter significant wave heights. So we mainly use the forecasting developed by this other group to plan our operations.
you are using the actual impulse turbine instead of the gas turbine. Can you make more comments about the performance of this kind of turbine?
Okay. What's good about the Wells turbine is that what's good is the bad bit, is the stalling torque. The Wells turbine is limited by stall, but in a sense that is a useful feature because it acts as a power limitation, particularly during very high waves. The impulse turbine, what we have found to be difficult to control with it is a very, very high peak torque. So the peak to average torque ratio is very high. You can have peak to average ratios of 10, 15 to 1. So while you might be generating an average power of 4 kilowatts, your peak torque will be 20 kilowatts. But so far, what I could say is that the impulse turbine appears to be performing somewhat better than the Wells turbine. Now, some of that is as a result of slightly better matching of the turbine to the wave energy device in terms of damping. But it appears that the impulse turbine performance is quite good, particularly with removable guide vanes. It seems to make it quite an efficient turbine. We're seeing efficiencies approximately in the average efficiencies of around 50%. That's average efficiencies. The instantaneous efficiencies can be higher than that or lower than that.
Thank you for your share. I want to ask, what's the output power for this device? And is it a model or it's what kind of scale so far?
It's a quarter scale, and the nominal power is, it's very difficult to give a single number because, as you know, wave energy is so fluctuating. But the nominal power is somewhere between 10 and 15 kilowatts. Again, as you know, wave energy's power will scale to the power of 3.5. So I think this results in a full-scale device nominal power of somewhere around 700 kilowatts.
How large?
It's 6 meters wide by 12 meters long. Am I correct, Tony? Yeah. 30 tons of steel.
You also mentioned that for the morning, the tides is pretty. Can you example this?
I can't, to be honest. I'm maybe Tony can. I'm an electrical engineer, but certainly, just visually, we have seen quite a different loading on the movies during flood tides and red tides. Have you anything more to say on that, Tony?
I think the tidal, the drag force on the machine.
Tidal current, yeah.
Half a meter per second. And increases the mean forces on the. It's not crazy, it doesn't make them drop, it just increases the average here.
Any more questions?
Thank you for sharing. Do you evaluate the cost for the maintenance and what's the frequency for maintenance? And or is there any corrosion problem for the device? That's my question.
There is some corrosion. I don't think it's anything significant or anything beyond the normal. Certainly nothing that has caused any major problems, as I say, apart from some some small leakage at some of the welding joints. Operation and maintenance, it's a difficult question to answer in this context because this is a test device, it's a prototype, and there is more operation and maintenance than you want there to be because you're trying to iron out research problems and issues like that that I suppose would not be an issue in a full-scale system. So I don't think I can really answer that question in any meaningful way.
More question? Okay, then let's conclude this. Thank you very much.